Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Good morning. So, man, yesterday we had some super crazy business. This big spike right here. We're not really sure what caused it, but there was no news. Some people think that it may have been a fat finger trade, but basically this was like the stop run of all stop runs. And now we have our nub spread is higher, cumulative delta is higher, all of the treasuries are higher. E-mini took a bit of a dive yesterday. Nothing like too terrible, but you know, it's pretty bad. So yeah, I'm a little wary about making a prediction here about which way it's going to go. Although I do believe that people are perhaps too long at the moment. But I can't predict if like more are going to jump in or what. We have final wholesale inventories a bit later. And we're coming up on a spot here at like 21 where there could potentially, yeah, they could potentially test that, but we're kind of at a support area right now, so hard. Oh yeah, let's look at the Bitcoins. I'm betting they came down. Yeah, they came down a little bit. Okay, so there's a pretty good downtick. I mean, we have decent size on here. Still no news about what caused it, but I would say based on the behavior, almost definitely. Only buyers are willing to pay the spread to get filled, not significant higher. TF. Well, there's 21. I thought they might tick that. 80 have gone into it. We're getting good movement, so. Oh yeah, let's post the links. Let's post the links. That would be a good idea. Live now. Yep. Okay, so they're not stopping there. Next key point is 19. Oh, okay, so there's a big order here. Yeah, Alligator agrees. We have a lot of market buyers that are underwater. Okay, so here's the big order. They're hitting it, and it's actually getting bigger. Level break setup here. It's kind of, I don't know. I mean, we are trending down, so I would think that there's a good probability that we go through this actually, especially since they're not pulling. Okay, so now this 20 is starting to pull. So I think I can hit in here. Okay, now the offer is more. Okay, they let it take a hit, but it did not go through. There you go. 1,000 lot went through there. Okay. Good hit. Good hit and absorption. I really want to see them hit that 20 though. Well, I mean, they are hitting it, but I know. Okay, so I'm seeing this go on in the 5-year. I think that's probably part of why we're not seeing it. So the 5-year ticked up. The treasuries are not in unison at the moment. Continue to trickle in here and the iceberg stays. That ZF gonna tick back down now? Okay, good deal. I was a little concerned there for a second, but I mean, we have good trend, so it was a good trade. Obviously, could have gotten hit, filled at 20 half though, so should. Probably keep that one in mind, and since there was a little bit of a stop run there, we might pause for a moment. Yeah, they're going to try and play with us at 20. And that 20 half is not what it should be. It's too far. Okay. Yep. Okay. Well, how should we manage this? Should we just click out? I think so. Especially, oh. Should have been faster there. I was like, I should have just clicked out. I should have just clicked right then. Oh well. Okay, well, something I'm noticing here is that you're getting situations where you appear to have a strong bid or a strong offer and they're just taking it. So, okay. So let's keep that in mind for our fills that we can be patient. How does that work? Hmm. Oh, okay, it's a CFD. I was like, wow. Okay, so there's your uptick, but it's not strong. Okay, that's a little better. Three crises by 2025. Lol. Okay, a couple more going through there. Some pulling at 21. Hmm. Almost. Can you believe that? Okay. Okay, now treasuries seem to be a little bit more in line. At least the 5 and the 10 are. I really think I should just move this. Since we're in pretty, I mean, it's moving. It does appear like it's going to continue to go lower. Spread bettors do kill their clients quickly. I don't know how that works though. I've never tried it. Okay, so they put a good bid there. Not many coming into 20 half. Not yet, at least. And these guys that hit into 20 stuck. Hmm. Okay, well, quite a bit of a hit there. Hmm. Okay, so that should have been a much stronger tick. I won't like that. It should have been like that. But now even this one I'm a little skeptical of. Wow, okay, they really hit that 21. Hmm. But they didn't get through it. The range is still too strong for it. Okay. I'm not seeing like super strong offers. I mean, there was a buyer was getting really aggressive here, and now this is just kind of slowly building down. So it's not as aggressive. You can see that bid is still fighting. Okay, that was a really good downtick. Really good downtick. Look at that. 38. And people are buying into it. Come on. Nobody's selling here. Okay, 7. Look, all that size that was there was real. There's probably even more than that. Okay, that had convinced a couple more sells. Well, one lot was a 47. Would need to see some pulling here. And there's also in ZB here, this is kind of thick. So it's they like the range still. Okay. Okay. And that's all buyers can muster, huh? But it looks good in ZB. Okay. Funny that the 20 half ended up being the point of control for the session. Hmm. Okay, so Liz still thinks that we might break out to the upside. Yep, he pushed it out. Dang it. Okay. Let's see what it does on this one. Okay. Well, that sucks. So I really thought that the sellers were winning through that. But whoever's buying this was just bigger, I guess. I think it's about time to rebuild my workspace because I'm getting all sorts of problems, like indicators just disappearing off of charts and stuff. Hmm. What was 143.07? 143.07 was the only like 3 contracts went through. But when we were at 07, that was like really early in the ZN range. That's interesting. So maybe that's why ZB was giving us a much harder time about going down, even though it really looked like they were going to do it at some point. I don't know. I don't really see anything too significant about that price from yesterday. Alligator's saying there was a fat finger, but did anybody see the order come through on the tape? How does a fat finger like that happen? Okay, well, history tells us if we want to get filled short again, we can probably get 20 half or 21. Hmm. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I saw that 500 hit into 120. It didn't break. They ticked up. Now we're back down and the 120 is pulling. And now they ticked through it. That's really good for downside. I trade Eastern time. It's going to be like 8:30 to 11. This is 120 still. I don't want to trade 19. ZF certainly wanted to go. Oh. You think that the S200 is not a good enough entry? Yeah. If this one doesn't work out, I might be done, so. Okay. ZF Jeff definitely wants to push it lower. Look at that. Okay. Okay, now ZB's coming along. I don't know. In fact, they're trying to hold 19 now, huh? Alligator got off on that iceberg. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, now I'm seeing the down volume. That 5 was the down volume. Really? Mm. Okay, well that was a pretty good downtick in ZV, TR, VR, just saying that ZV seems to be holding everything up. Okay. Quite a bit of pulling when they're down ticking in ZB. We got a couple of guys stuck here at 19. Recall that 5,000 got out there. And now there's even more hitting into 19 that are going to be stuck if we can tick down. This is not pulling away. This is not strong. Okay. This is not okay. That was kind of weird. Okay, they did try pushing through 06. Good. The 06 and ZB is holding though. Yeah. And ZB is definitely the ringleader at the moment. Okay. Well, I did eventually get my trade, but like, I took this twice and then I took, and then I got it, so really off of the move that I was looking for by net, I'm -4. This is pretty bad. Okay, well now ZB is looking weak. No. It should probably tick back up there again. If I can catch this, I can probably get out at 19. That's my thought. All right, that was a little bit much. ZB did break it. I think that they're gonna put up a little bit more of a fight, but I think that this could turn into trend down for sure. It's 49 to 19. Okay, a little bit of a pull, but not too much. Yeah, I want to let it tick down again. I don't like that. Okay. Because I feel like ZB's gonna pop back up again. So I just didn't get an efficient enough price. And ZB's still at this 6, which concerns me. Yeah. It was 18.5, right? Yes, I was 18.5. So you can see this guy, I think that they're gonna try and hit it. I would be more concerned about the location. I don't know. Like, the thing is, remember, I'm not saying location doesn't matter or anything like that. I mean, definitely, especially when we're in range bound trading, the location matters. But we're not necessarily in range bound trading, so it is kind of like if you're willing to hold it long enough, you can probably take it. It's the zipper probability is 50-50. But it's what was I gonna say? I'm more concerned about it from a we want low risk, high probability. So right here at 18.5, is my risk really that low? No, because I'm really risking that there's going to be a stop run up here to 20.5. And I don't know if this price is going to hold. I mean, they haven't really traded in anything at 19. So there is that, but it wouldn't take them very much to push through that level. And ZB is not showing it, at least from my perspective. It doesn't seem like ZB is ready to like extend to the lows quite yet. So it's kind of like I actually still just sitting here looking at it because they haven't traded 19 and the 18.5 is still offer. I'm sitting here saying, oh, it's going to go down. And it may actually do that. Yeah, okay. But it just didn't seem like it was a really high probability trade at the time. Yeah. Oh, that's a good point. We've got 15 minutes before the E-mini. So now ZB wants to push the low. Okay, level 2 seems to be like picking up here. ZB did not touch the low, by the way. could pull back to 6. That would line up nicely. This other one, what did I take it off at? 19? Guess I really should have left that one on. Really, the short on the first one was, well, actually, it's that 20. Okay. So I think I'm having a bit of being too nervous about a pullback because of this big jump up that we had, you know? Well, we're getting a good pullback. There's that push through 18 I was worried about. There's the ZB touching 06. What's this? What's going on here? Only 12 have fit into that. Well, the 06 looks pretty good. Not pulling away, at least. Ooh, that was a good pull there at 19. There's still offer 06 and ZB. There it went. Offer 07 pulls. No hits yet. Okay, so now I have a choice. Because I could try shorting 19 half. I'm a little concerned. Um, I we are getting some pretty aggressive momentum up for starters. This is more than just a pullback at this point. I would prefer not to sell 19. We also have the E-mini coming up here soon. And there's no telling what they're going to do. Okay, they filled 19 and they're having trouble getting it back up above it. And we're at a stopping place in ZF as well. $19 may actually be the best we get. And Tucker pointing out that same. It's really odd to see how dominant ZB is being in the action today. When they're not, when they reach a bid or an offer that's not going, these two do not do anything. Okay, well that was a pretty solid uptick that time. So that kind of takes 19 out of the running for a short. Maybe 19 half, because 19 half isn't necessarily pulling away. Strong uptick doesn't follow through. Actually, it's been doing that a lot today, hasn't it? I mean, they eventually they get it, but they haven't been like strong uptick hit into 19 half. Okay, that time. I'm thinking, okay, that wasn't a strong uptick. Let's reset it by the way. But the move in ZF up wasn't like overextended either. So they could still have a quick sweep. Is this low risk, high probability? It seems like this is not a high probability trade in this area. Probably not low risk either, because could go all the way back up to 23. Frankly. We're kind of in a crappy spot for risk, aren't we? Okay, curious. Wow. Okay, so here comes the E-mini. And see some buying in it. Oops. Misclick. I wanted 18. It's getting a pretty decent run there in the E-mini. Hmm. So the E-mini is still kind of on the edge of maybe pushing even a little further. But treasuries are not responding like they did when they first moved up and then kind of pivoted. Mm. And that whole thing was really weird. this suddenly feels incredibly dangerous to me. Yep. No good. Well, I think given the context, I could take another one. But I think I've been a little reckless today. This one, especially when I lost 4 on it. That was a run. I should have clicked out faster. And I have that problem. It happens to me all the time. Nope. The E-mini really swooned there. Okay. Well, now they're past that 19. I think I need to wait one past, because it was like this one moved down. I should have just been like, nope. Okay, so that 17 has been touched twice, by the way. I don't know. So here's ES coming back up like it's gonna make a new high. Hmm. look at the delta in the E-mini. That sucks. Did not get filled. This is probably moving up, guys. The E-mini looks so sick. That delta is very, very bad. Can you see that? You can't see that. That is really bad delta. Hmm. Thinking about taking the +1 and seeing if I could get filled at 20 again. And I didn't do it. The buyers are still trying to pull something out here in ES. Let's see, they didn't quite do it that time. So now why are the treasuries selling here? Um, I'm still okay with the E-mini being right there. But what concerns me is that this isn't ticking up. There you go. See? And it's not holding. That was good. can see here in the volume profile and the E-mini, they're still kind of in the middle. But I liked that uptick. Yeah, or maybe this is not the place to play. I'm thinking about taking the 1 here again, but I don't know if that really makes sense. Why does this pull? That's freaking weird. Should have done it. I should have done it. Why are you being like that, 20, huh? Why are you being like that? Kidding me? Nobody's buying into it yet. Yeah, exactly. Right, look, it's at the low here. Come on. There you go. I, it's kind of hard to describe with words, isn't it? It's like they're trying to lift it and they can't. Yeah. Jeez. Okay. Finally scratched. Okay. We're okay. We're good. Look at that. There it is again. Yeah, I don't know about this one. My experience has been that when you see delta going clearly one way within a range, that it tends to go the way of the delta, which would mean that in the E-mini this would break out to the downside. But it's definitely not a for sure thing. I've definitely seen it both ways. And I've never, like, tested the stats on it. But when you look at ZN, it is just nothing but buying all day, even though they haven't really made much progress in price. And when we were selling down at the lows, the sellers didn't really push it as hard as they could have, and the buyers just kind of held it. And I don't know. I feel like, yeah, wants to pop down and then it gets blocked. Try to get blocked. Like somebody is actively trying to yeah. Okay, well there the E-mini did finally push over the VWAP. And nobody traded 20 half. Well, that was a really strong up move in, yes. That still doesn't recover all of the damage that has been done, but it was still quite a bit. Hmm. So testy. Well, now the E-mini looks like it is going to make a new high, doesn't it? Hmm. Oh, 119.17 half was a 50% retracement. That makes sense. I'm super disturbed that I'm not seeing anything on CNBC.com about our little kerfuffle in the 10, well, and all the treasuries really yesterday. It's just no mention of it at all. Okay, well, they ticked up there that time and it was a little bit too easy for them, I think. I'm not necessarily seeing treasuries in line. Well, okay. See that? This one, this one, this one. Okay, that's a little better. Why is it that when equities are close to the high that we're buying treasuries here? That doesn't make any sense. So now the correlation is not even matching. It's now all messed up. Okay. ES made a new high. Okay. I think volume profile wise, this is not the best spot for sure. But it's been in this range so tight, you don't really have much choice about where you're going to get in. And I do like the way this 19.5 is acting at the moment, at least. And I like that the E-mini is going up. Now the E-mini really looks like they're going to pull it out. Okay, so there's a big order in ES now. Did that occur when they touched there and pivoted? Hmm. Okay, this is already looking bad for me, isn't it? Well, I'm just not doing too good today, am I? I shouldn't have taken it down there. That price didn't hold at all. Didn't work. It didn't work. Yeah, the correlation doesn't always have to stay. I just find it really odd when all of a sudden the correlation just disappears, you know? Just the way that it ticked, it looked like it was gonna continue through there. And I felt, because we were in like a one tick range, here I'll show you where we were at. I really thought that 19.5 was the only place that I could get filled short. I don't think I'm really thinking these through very well because, well, final wholesale inventories was better than expected. I don't know if I really thought that one through because there was news coming up and E-mini's kind of going through battle here, and the buyers finally won. A tepid victory, but they won. And the treasuries aren't going along with it. Then I think at that point the trade doesn't really make sense anymore, does it? And I'm starting to feel again like I'm looking for a trend to appear, and it's just not happening. I mean, here in the regular session, we have been pretty stuck, haven't we? And all of the best trades were all the counter trend ones, like when we had this stop run up here to 23 and when we had this run down here to 17. And I think I had some favorable ticks on some of these. 2 1 1 1 1 2 1, huh? Yeah, it's interesting. It seems like I've just been calling it wrong straight up, haven't I? We're also with that one is definitely like normally I would have to stop, so I'm gonna keep trading it for practice, but any other day we would stop there. I'm thinking I still want to sell it. This is that same thing where it's like, it seems like the only place that I'm gonna get filled is 19.5. Okay, that's interesting. Well, there was the break. Might be breakdown time. Um, I don't know. I think some of them probably did buy 19 though too, right? I don't know which price was more, right? Now who's sweating? Shit. Alligator went long at 19.5, huh? At least one stop hit. Would have been nice to have gotten short at 20.5 and not 19.5, huh? Unfortunate. I think it's going. It's not. It turns around. So why am I continually doing this to myself over and over again? Yep. What was yesterday's close? $21.5. Right at the VWAP. So here's where it's like maybe that's where we should be taking it. I like there's this iceberg here. See that? They're just gonna go right through me. Yeah. Um, I think you're using the wrong terminology though there. Liquidity, I mean, liquidity that we're talking about here are going to be the people that are markets that are limit selling, right? So really it's all that demand up there from people puking, probably. No, liquidity only means limit orders. You're trying to sell 10,000, you need their liquidity. No, that's the wrong terminology. When I say liquidity, I'm always talking about limit orders. So if you're talking about the buyers, yep. So if you're talking about the buyers puking, that these buyers are people puking, that may be. This iceberg right here might be some people trying to get out. Wow. They traded through that 7 there awfully fast. See, it's funny there. That long was the first long that was like a continuation. Really, that's a reversal, continuation there finally at 8:17, and I didn't see it at all. No. Yep, so your terminology is off. So you're going to confuse people if you say it like that. No. If people are puking, they're not creating liquidity, Tucker. If you're puking, do you do it with a limit order or a market order? I I still feel like this should go down, but well, I mean, we are getting some serious long delta here, but they're gonna come up to what is it? This 23, and they're one tick short, and they may come short in delta as well. Oh, that one's weak. So I want to see here, because I feel like if I get filled, that they're going to go through me. Let's see. Several people are typing. Yeah, it's all the terminology. There's liquidity takers and liquidity givers. Buyers and sellers. That's, yeah. And I think the confusion is that if you want to sell 2000 at 220, you need some to buy. You're adding your liquidity to the market, but you want to be filled. You need to stimulate buyers into taking the other side of your trade. Yes. So if you are a liquidity provider and you want to sell, then you need to do something to get the buyers to turn their orders into market buys to fill you. So you're trying to get the buyers to puke and become demand. Or sorry, you're trying to get the short sellers to puke and create demand. By demand. But they're not willingly giving their liquidity to the sellers. They're crossing over. They're crossing over and they're becoming market orders. They take the liquidity provided by the seller. Yes. Yeah. Feels bad, man. That's my take. So what I was just typing there was we had a range here where they were really fighting, and we did have what appears to be like a double bottom. And they could have continued here, absolutely, there's no question about it. And how do you know that when you're in here that it's going to move up or it's going to move down? Because we had this move down looked promising. Now, of course, this move up went promising, and how do you know which one is going to continue? And I think the answer is that you don't. And since it's not a high probability trade, you just don't take it. And if it goes, and you miss it. Why do I have a, okay, what's going on here? Okay, -1. Oh, okay, yeah. Anyways, you don't know what it's going to do, but since you stayed out, because it's not a high probability trade, whether it goes up or down, it comes up and you can see, okay, now that it's coming up, how are they reacting? Are these people initiating new positions that because it's going up, or are these people that are stopping out and the liquidity providers are the ones that are initiating new positions? And I think that that's what happened. I think that liquidity providers, they sold here, and they ate up all of those orders that sold, and that's what, you know. And then we pushed down here. Huge size goes off at 20, 20 half. You know, you don't buy 20 or 20 half, you buy like 19 and a half or 19. Right, but it's not just as, you know, the big players are on the edges of the range. Yes, I think that tends to be true. I think well, I think there's two things here. Okay, we have come back up a little bit. The E-mini's looking a little weak. I think there's less risk if it works, so you easily then can take -2 instead of having to risk 4. The long side also made sense because it just refuses to get below 19. Right. How do I put this? Oh, well, I didn't even need to type this. If we're right here, okay, and you're at 20 half, and you want to short it, what's your risk? Is it 1 or 2? Or is it 3 or 4? Because you see, if you had put it at 4, you probably wouldn't have stopped out, right? And you could argue that if you really wanted to go short, this move right here did not prove you wrong, right? It went up, it went back down. We still have not been proven right or wrong. I still think it's going to go down in the end, right? So that is 4 ticks risk right there. Now think of it this way. If I wanted long, and I got long right here, how much did I risk? I risked 1. Wait to see how 210 trades. It might pop though. You might even be able to get 21.5. If you were blindly selling 205 though, you may need a huge stop. Well, and that's the whole thing, is that again, if I want to buy, it depends on where you do it, right? If I want to buy and I buy here, obviously this is a great spot. Or maybe here, okay? And you risked 2, and then you still got it still got up, right? But if you have the momentum and you buy it here, you never risked anything. It just went through. See, it's way better if you can find the spot, if you can catch the edge, right? You buy it, if we're buying it, I'm buying it as it's leaving 20.5, and then it never ticks against me. Those are the best trades. And when you're on the edge, like your current entry, that's a better spot. If you had sold at 20.5 though, you have no idea how the 100K traded will resolve. Yeah. Well, I didn't. Well, you know, I got a pretty good spot on 21, didn't I? I really would have liked the 22. But what am I trying to say here? It's the difference between a continuation or a reversal, right? So these are all reversals that we're talking about down here because it's been a reversal type of market. But you know what I would have liked to see even better is this one right here, like way before we started trading, but here at 119.26, if you sold that one, look, you caught the edge. You get plus what, plus 5. It comes back on you, but it still doesn't go past the edge. And then if you really held it, which you probably wouldn't want to, but if you really held it, or let's say, well, you could take, that would be a reversal, but you know, if I held it, then you get to, okay, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Okay. That is a really great entry right there. And what kind of a trade is that? It's a continuation trade. And yes, if you look at the volume, can we see the volume profile on this? No, I can't. Where would it be? What price was that? 25? Okay, so if you look at the volume profile now at 25, it's not a great spot, is it? Right? By playing this big old poker game. Well, they probably don't. No, probably not. We are now in a consolidating range. So let me explain why I think that a continuation trade is better. If I try to do a reversal trade and I'm wrong, okay, like I was able to get filled at 21 and I took that as a reversal and it went through me, it goes through you. Like they're pushing you and they're trying to make you sweat, like you're talking about, right? They're trying to pressure you out here now when they get up to 220 22 22 half. Okay, if you take the continuation trade, you're already on the side of the guys that are trying to create the pressure. And if that trade goes wrong, how does that trade usually work out? Okay, like this one that we took, where it was a continuation, right? Or where did we take it? We should use like real world example. I took one at 20. Ooh, 20 was actually a good place to sell. Took one at 20, but then there was one at 18 half. Okay, so there was one at 18 half. I sold at 18 half. Yep, that's right. I sold right here. So I have the pressure with me, but I was wrong, right? What happened? Well, I still could have gotten 2 ticks out of it. See what I mean? And then you kind of, when you're wrong, it tends to be like, oh, like I really want them to take it, but for some reason nobody wanted to hit that price. Or really, if you're lucky, well, not if you're lucky, but what I like to see is you come down and you hit some sort of an iceberg down there and you say, okay, that's an exit, and you get out there. You get what I mean? And even on some of these reversals, like this one that I took here at 21, I didn't even really consider it a reversal because it had already come down, you know? Now I'm not playing it like because I've been talking, I really should have taken the 18 half, right? I should have taken the +5. What happened there? Only 24 went through and then they ticked up. Yeah, I should have taken the +4 right there. But I wasn't paying attention, and obviously today is a wash. So I'm too embarrassed. I mean, you're all watching, so you all know if you keep in track. But I had many bad losses in a row. Not bad losses, but small losses in a row. I'm fighting through that range. Oh, there's one other thing. Maybe I will put this in the chat after I'm done saying this, but just to summarize. But there's another thing. Continuation trades are not as competitive, if that makes sense. So on a continuation trade, you can just mark it in and wait for them to tick up, and hopefully you're good to go at that point. Okay. Or reversal trade, if you're sitting there on the edge, you're probably not going to get a very good Q position, you know? Like, there's going to be 3,000 sitting there, and I'm going to be at the back of the line, and the only way that I'm going to get filled is if they trade through it. And if they're able to clear that price, what then at that point is the probability that they're also going to trade this price? Right? I think right here, given the current context, I think there's a pretty good chance that they would trade 22 here. And so anyways, in that respect, the reversal trades then become like really competitive, you know? But when you look at the market the past, I'm gonna say month, There is no question that the counter trend trades were the ones that would make you more money. No question about that. Yeah. I should probably start. Well, now they appear to be coming short once again, but maybe there's another big buy push that comes through. I don't know. Well, there's been a lot of absorption at 21. No, not that time. They trade through that time. If you want to put on a short position, what do? Buy it. If you really want it long, you sell it. Then once everybody in the market lends you their liquidity in the form of stops, you're free to put on your position. Yes. Well, hold on. Okay, well I got a tick again, so that's nice. Oh, you know what? I don't actually want this order here. That was just when I was saying, oh, I should have taken it off here. If everybody already wants to buy it, then you kick their teeth in and you buy it. Well, it's kind of this is a dangerous game, you know. Yeah, I mean, you can do that sort of a thing if you have complete control. Like if you're Goldman Sachs and you're the biggest player in the market that day and you know that you can put up more size than pretty much anybody else. But if Morgan Stanley is playing that day too, and they're on the other side of it, then that can become a dangerous game, right? Because then what does that turn into? If Goldman wants to buy and Morgan Stanley wants to sell, and Goldman says, okay, I'm not getting what I want and I really need to be filled, so I'm going to sell it. So I sell it down to 20, and then Morgan Stanley says, oh, yay, we're getting exactly what we wanted. Well, let's just sell some more. Boom, boom, boom. And now all of a sudden, Goldman Sachs is the complete opposite way of what they want to be positioned, to be positioned, right? And you have this move that could continue going against you. Of course, then Goldman is long. They start buying it down here. But then these other guys are like, oh, well, we would still like to sell it. And they push it against them more. And so now all of a sudden he's losing money. The tough part is who has more money and who can screw over the first. Yes. See, continuation happens when a person gets screwed over, and that becomes a signal for everybody else to jump on and take it, right? I mean, I think you understand why it reverses correctly. I'm just the thing that, yeah, they might. I mean, you don't know where their targets are. Their targets tend to be out there, and they usually tend to get them on trend days. But I'm just saying again, continuations happen more often than you'd think. Mm. When they take those trades, they tend to look for bigger um, targets. And I just say that just because when I've seen, a market and they definitely want it, they they tend to go all the way to like the last single print. It tends to be where it's at. That's just, when I see indications in the order flow of large players, and one of those large players wins, their targets tend to be single prints. And those can often be 8 to 10 ticks away. Like whoever's selling here, what do they want? Whoever's selling here probably wants the low of the day. I don't know if they're actually going to get it. It seems like that the market has come to a equilibrium. Oh yeah, sure. I mean that's true. They're going to buy and sell it along the way because they want the trade to continue in their direction. So they're going to take a little bit off to create a pullback, and then they're going to buy it a little bit here to create the kind of movement that people like to see to entice more buyers. Yeah. What was I going to say? Hmm. Well, a lot of businesses happened here at this 21. Oh, I need to go and that's what I was thinking. I was thinking I need to post my Bitcoin charts. Oh, I know what I was gonna say. Miss to me, if we just say, so I'm just guessing. Okay. I think that Goldman and some of the banks think that the chances of a new rate increase, a fourth rate change this year has increased, and they want to sell bonds because they want to see a low of the year. And then there's another group of guys led by George Soros that think that there's, for some reason, to be super cautious here and that the next market crash is just around the corner, and that's why they're buying it. And yesterday, that particular group won big time. And now that they got this big move up, all of the banks are in here like really trying to get short. So if we have two big players in the market, which one do you think is winning or has won at the moment? What do you think? Because it seems to me that neither side has given up yet. And when that happens, you get what we've been getting today, which is a consolidating range, right? Well, they came there. Here's the first pivot. Here's the bottom. They weren't able to extend the range. They weren't able to extend the range. They weren't able to extend the range. And we are slowly converging on this 20. Seems like 20 is the middle where we're just can't seem to get away from. And so I think we're just waiting for one of these two guys to say, I've lost. And can you also see how the delta, it's still, like, through all of this, higher. Slightly higher. I mean, I guess it's come off a little bit, but still slightly higher. There's still a lot of people long. Don't these people have to, like, exit their trades before the weekend? I don't know. It's on a Friday. It's kind of weird. Maybe they're just gonna hold it over the weekend. I don't know. That's the scalper way, though. It's not really going. I don't know. I do think this is going to resolve down still. Back to my price. Anyways, I don't know. I think that what's going on here is just classic me, right? Because I really think, I am absolutely convinced at this point that we are much more likely to move down. I really think that we're going to move down, guys. And I think the truth of the matter is that I really don't know. Because I can't say which size is bigger or not, or who is more skilled or anything of that matter, right? It seems like there's a trade here, like there's an opportunity. But the reason I seem to think that is because everybody else seems to think that too. And if everybody's involved in there in that spot, oh look, here we're gonna move against me now. They're gonna try it again. Make the 220 that time. They're gonna finally break it? The range? Anyways, that just makes it, that much harder for me to actually pick out the trade, right? Like, we really want the ones that are just like, no duh, you know? The market just moved up 4 ticks, and yeah, probably that one's going to continue. That sort of a thing. And I'm just not, I'm just not seeing them. And then some of the ones that probably are no does are missing. And then you get into the over trading. Man, look at that. Well, okay, the liquidity providers aren't jumping out of the way. Hmm. Well, I have to go and I can't keep this trade open. I still think it's going to go down. Oh, I have to type this. Anyways, I guess what, yesterday we made 4, and then today when we count where we said we'd stop, that was -9. I think the rest of the week was even, so I think there were -2 or 3 for the week, so it's like not necessarily bad. But then of course, you know, I really wanted to see myself make some money out of this thing, and clearly not the best trading from me there. I mean, I could have taken this for 2 ticks here between 20.5 and 19.5 many times. I did get an okay location at this 21. So definitely when we are in ranging conditions, where these volume profile curves are really, really good edge there. The way that I've thought that way before, I'd be convinced we'd move lower and break the lows. I'd get in, it'd go nowhere, it'd go a tick against me, a tick in my favor, then it'd go a couple of ticks in my favor. If it would pull, I'd think it was good on the trade. It'd come back to my entry price, it'd hold. It'd go a tick against, yeah. Then I'd come back to my entry. Then it'd go a tick in favor, I'd hold. It'd come back to my entry price, I'd still be convinced we're going lower, I'd hold. It'd go 4, 5, 6 ticks against me, it'd blow out, it would fall back in. I'd be annoyed and shorted again, it'd move against me 2 ticks, I'd get out, wait half an hour. Jump on, convinced this time, go tick in my favor, then against me, in my favor, against me. Sometimes you just need to realize they're not going to run the lows anytime soon. Yeah, and the whole thing is like, how do you tell? How do you tell when, is there a way to know that it's about to start doing that to you? Or is there a way to know that it's about to go? When it goes, like, I know it, man. I see it and I'm like, yep, and this is looking good. I see the things that I tend to see when then it feels really good. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's some things I'm missing still. I feel like though after this week, I understand how to trade the range a lot better this week than I did last week. I certainly need a lot more practice doing it though. Today would have been a really good day to practice trading the range, but I just thought that because of what happened yesterday that it would, you know, go more than this, and it just didn't, did it? So I don't know. You can see they're holding the edges of the profile here, trading back and forth in the range. There's a good point in that when they got to 21, well, okay, I guess the last this side of the range doesn't really count. In 19, like look at what they printed last time, 24, and then 7 last time they were at 19. You know, the sellers are not trying to push it out there, so there's definitely that. But that one is really hard too, because you're going to tick down, you're going to see 7 there, and it's still going to be bid. And then when is it going to actually tick or not? You know? Like 1500 could come in there and clear it at any second. And the problem is that the event that you're looking for, the thing to say, is this going to go or is this not going to go, is so small. You really cannot react to it. And at that particular point, if we came down to 19, maybe we're going to get that here. I actually technically would be okay till like 10, but I do want to leave here. Because it's just the beginning part there is nothing happens. You can see, oh, sorry, he didn't post another thing. So if they come to 19, maybe they do it and maybe they don't. And if they do it and they go to 18.5, is that then like, oh, okay, yeah, they're totally going to break the range. I can totally take this now as a breakout? No, because then they could just extend it by 1 and then reverse it on you there, right? I'm going to say that, I mean, I'm not saying that there's no way to win or anything. Happens often the day after a sharp move. My theory is option traders volatility plus sellers market. You need to unload. Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe we need to track this. Because I always thought that the day afterwards, so you would tend to have a lot of volatility, but it's not. I guess I guess it is volatility, but I mean the range is bigger. It's like a 6 or to 8 tick range. Anyways, I'm not saying that you can't. There's no way to win it or anything like that. It's just most of the spots you can't win. And every trade that you do, there's a way for the big guy to screw it over. That was a really good down tick. No orders into 19.5. Really good down tick. A little bit of pulling in 19.5. Some absorption in ZB. E-mini pushing higher. So everything I'm seeing, except for the fact that we're at the range, is saying it should go down. I'll look it up ticked. And that one was like really good pressure and nobody sold. Wouldn't you agree? And here in ZB they ticked up. You gonna see, I think he could get 20. I guess another possibility, Tucker, on these trades. That may not necessarily have been a big bank. That may have just been the smaller trader that's like, well, we've been in a range. I would really like to push it out of this range. Let's just push it up. Okay, I'll buy a bunch here. Or really push it up. I'll take it off. Take it off. He's literally just looking to stop us up and nothing more. Because obviously, if it was a big institution and they got filled here, they would have tried to take it lower at that point, wouldn't they? Well, that's not what we want to see. $9.15 is when I'm stepping away. That's some size at 20.5, right? Good deal. That one may well have been a lure because he absorbed some and they pushed it down and it ticked down. And I'm thinking maybe now you get a real tick down. I don't know. I still say it's Friday and people need to take positions off and we're just way too long. You know what I mean? Here's L6, it'll take it with it, yep. Okay, yep, so I will see you guys. I'll talk to you guys later this afternoon, I'm sure. And, oh, yeah, I might be on tonight, actually, because I'm going to be doing a little bit of programming and then playing, because my wife's out of town right now, so. I'll talk to you.